not, I would not go for cape. I would not go for cape. Okay, not cape. What I would have done is I would have done a full, I would have first taken a full disk image of that system. Okay, taken that system into my custody and then performed a forensic analysis of the image let's say using NCase or Axiom for an example. Okay, so that's one thing. And now the reason why not cape, is that there are two things. First thing is that definitely when the cape will execute, it will actually create artifacts on the suspect host, and maybe there is a risk that because of those artifacts, the original artifacts of the host itself will get overwritten, for an example, or will get deleted because of that. Oh, mostly overwritten. It will not delete, but maybe overwritten. Okay, so because of that, what I will do is I will try to avoid that. So that's one thing. Now the other thing is that, so this is done. I will not execute cape because it's not requested in let's say 15 minutes. But definitely if there is a malware kind of investigation, as I told earlier, I would kind of execute cape and I'll kind of quickly see, do a trial if it is a false positive or benign positive case. I'll do that definitely. The other thing, apart from the other thing before executing, yeah, go on. Is that
Yeah, and here I missed a few points. 2 points.
Yeah.
So one is like so the client system which is connected to the VPN. So they are using a Kaspersky EPP, not an EDR. Okay. So that is the first point. And the second point is like so after this incident, so we have installed a CrowdStrike EDR on the infected machine. Okay, so after that, we saw like some partial scripts are running that was detected by the CrowdStrike.
Okay.
And that partial scripts also like it was creating with the different names. Like if you delete the partial script also, it is keep on creating different with different names.
Mhm.
So these two we have observed in the forensic investigation.
Okay. So let me just write it down. PowerShell scripts, malicious and random with random names. Okay. So one thing definitely definitely if you have idea, that's quite good. And the other thing what I would also do whenever I do any kind of malicious, let's say any malware investigation, is that I also take the memory image. Okay, RAM memory image before kind of executing, like let's say any cape or doing any kind of forensics or turning off the system. I would first take the memory image. That's the topmost priority. Okay, because the thing is like we don't know what the kind of malware we are dealing with. For an example, if it is sophisticated, there will be very less artifacts on the disk. So we'll take the memory image at the topmost priority. And now thing is that let's say we decide, okay, if the client is giving us some time, let's say 1 or 2 days, we take the full disk image. If not, we execute the cape software. And since it has already the EDR, so definitely thing is that we have got, and as you told, we have got few suspicious PowerShell files. So we have something to pivot upon. Okay, pivot upon I means is the file names, creation time of those file names. So we have all those things to pivot upon, right? So when this full disk image will be kind of has been created, what we can do is we can separately start the timeline preparation. And in the timeline preparation, we can utilize log to timeline software, which we will see later in this course. Okay, it will actually in a basic overall, what it will do is that it will create a timeline analysis. It will create a timeline, and timeline will tell me, okay, what all activities happened on that host in a sequential format. So let's say after every hour, like it will be sorted based on time, and it will tell me what all activities happen on that host. So this is something I will kind of start preparing parallelly. And now for the PowerShell file. So now let's keep this discussion a little bit like easier. So in the data exfil, again, we would definitely need some network forensics logs too. Network forensics logs. For example, we know that okay, data exfil is happening. So definitely we know the IP address where this data is going to. If we had that information, we will again pivot upon that and use this as an IOC to pivot upon on the network concept. Like let's say we'll first kind of get the details. The first thing that we'll get is when this traffic was first seen. This is the again the topmost priority for us. When this traffic was first seen and when it was last seen. Last seen may be like ongoing. So definitely first seen will be definitely something which is really important, because again, if we have this time, what we will do is that we will then use this information to pivot upon the timeline. Okay, what things happened when this traffic was first seen, let's say just 10 seconds or 5 seconds before, what all thing happened before that. Okay, so we will also have this information with us, and let me just quickly select this. So we will utilize this too as a pivot point. Okay, and now guys, what we will do is that, so this is something like what the normal scenario will look like if we want to kind of do a deeper analysis. But let's say for an example, we have certain things over here. Let's say we have certain things to pivot upon, like PowerShell script. Okay, so there are a lot of things that can be done from here. Okay, the first thing that we wanted to know is that how this PowerShell script is getting auto generated. So in this case, what we will be kind of going to do is, so definitely there is some persistence mechanism in place. Where the malware is trying to detect, okay, this PowerShell is kind of deleted. What how to kind of recreate that PowerShell script. So what we can do is that to understand the persistent mechanism, what we can do is that we can let's say we can go to this tool over here, sys internal autorun SC tool, okay, which I will be kind of discussing in a much detailed format. And if we execute this, okay, it will tell me all the softwares which are somehow kind of like, let's say, can execute even though let's say the system is terminated. It will again kind of auto start those process. So we can get all those details from this autorun SC. So let's say with the autorun SC, let's say with the autorun SC, we were able to figure out suspicious process that auto execute. Okay, so maybe one thing is that from there we can understand, okay, what is that process that is executing this PowerShell script every time in random, and even though the system is rebooted, that malware is again coming into action. So those things definitely we can kind of get it from the autorun SC. And we will be, the only thing that we need to do is that we need to properly analyze that autorun SC log file. So as I told, first thing is that to approach this investigation, we need to understand what the thing we're investigating. So over here, the thing that we are investigating is the malware case. And then we need to understand, okay, what all logs are needed to kind of investigate that that system. So definitely, as per the statement that you mentioned, one thing that we will be interested in understanding is, are there any kind of persistence mechanism in that? And if there is software that is persisting, are there any suspicious software? So we can do that through different analysis approach, like if the malware is, if that software is signed, when that software was executed, and let's say we got the first traffic first scene. Thank you